So of course, if you are active on my channel whatsoever, if you have my notifications on or you just constantly see my videos pop up, you probably have seen me re-upload the Five Nights at Freddy's video probably like 6 or 7 times in the past 2 days. It's been quite a few times. And I was really excited for that because, I've heard a lot of people talking about it and the video was doing really well. Like the ones that did stay up, like they were getting a lot of views and there were a lot of momentum there for the first few hours of them being up. But within like usually a couple hours of uploading it, they would get taken down or blocked is another word for it. And I just need to talk about this because I've done this before plenty of times. And I think it's important to not only teach other creators about this if they're in the content creation part of like reaction videos, and also just for you guys to just kind of like understand sort of why that kept happening and why it's a big problem with YouTube. And I also kind of just want to get the message out there because people need to start speaking up about this a little bit more. Like, you're in no way are you, obligated to do that. But I really wish a lot of, especially bigger creators, I'm sure they do already, but I want more of it because I don't think anything can actually change until we start getting a lot of people to say things. And I personally feel like I get affected by this quite a bit. It's not always a problem. There has been plenty of shows. Game of Thrones was a good example. I got that show through just fine. I rarely had copyright issues with Game of Thrones. It was really nice. But usually with especially newer films and newer shows, and especially with certain companies like Universal, they can get really frustrating with this. And I just want to talk about what YouTube can do to change it, what these companies can do to kind of just be better, and also why I believe it's unfair for what they're doing. And the reason I want to bring this up is because I actually have had a lot of people tell me like, oh, you shouldn't expect these videos to not have copyright problems because, I mean, you are using their copyrighted work. Of course, they're going to claim it. That makes sense. And of course, when I started doing reaction content, I knew that was going to happen. And it did happen a lot. And I knew it was going to happen. I expected it. I'm fully aware of that potential. And it's honestly one of the things that has been making me want to stop doing reaction content. I've genuinely considered just not doing that anymore. I still want to make videos, but I've decided many times, or I've had that conversation with myself where I was thinking to myself, like, I don't really know if I want to do this anymore because it just doesn't feel worth it when you spend hours upon hours editing a reaction just for it to get blocked. And then you have to go through the whole process of trying to get it unblocked. So let's start off by talking about why I am allowed to do this, why reactors are allowed to do this, why are they allowed to post certain parts of a movie, even though you always see those, big screens when you load up a movie. It's like, oh, do not use this work because it's copyrighted. You'll get fines and in trouble if you do. It's a simple thing. It's a simple law called fair use, or it's more of a doctrine, whatever. It's a thing called fair use. And essentially the simple explanation of what that is it permits the unlicensed use of work without permission or payment for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, and research. So those are the main things that if you do those things, you can still, of course, use the copyrighted content. Now, there's certain, of course, intricacies with that. Of course, if you just upload a full, an entire 2-hour film to YouTube and you in the corner of the screen kind of talking every couple minutes, maybe, that's obviously not fair use. You are not doing much to actually make it a reaction video, which is of course why on YouTube our reaction videos are, cut up quite significantly. I'm probably showing less than 10% of the movie or show within it. It's also not consecutive either. Like there's maybe 3 to 5 seconds worth of footage at a time. Like you guys have watched my videos, like I rarely keep the scene showing for too long. Usually it cuts out within like 5 to 10 seconds and maybe starts again for another scene going later on. And in total, again, I'm not showing that much of the overall film. Some films, sometimes I can get away with showing a little bit more than others, but for the most part, try to keep it as little as possible. Now, there's a little bit more to the doctrine because, of course, it's not just that. Like I said, there's more to it. And it's making sure you are not using the content in a way where the video is a substitute for the original content. Meaning, like, if someone, let's say, doesn't want to watch or doesn't want to buy the movie, they can just go to your video and watch the movie from there. If it's a substitute for it, then that is a problem. But of course, a reaction video, assuming the person has cut up the movie enough where they're not showing too much of it, that is not a substitute. There's not a single one of my reaction videos on YouTube where you can go there and say, oh yeah, I can do this instead of watching the movie and I'll understand the movie just fine. No, sure, you might get certain points of it, but that's not a movie going experience. Nobody's going to sit there and watch a movie for the first time through a reaction video, unless they never intended on watching the movie in the first place. I will admit, there has been sometimes my girlfriend's told me, for example, she loves watching my videos, but she hasn't seen every movie I've reacted to on the channel. And some of the movies I'm like, okay, no, don't watch that reaction because I want to actually show you that movie myself on our own time, you know? But there's some movies that she has absolutely no interest in watching. An example is Terrifier 2. She had no interest in watching that. She was never going to watch that. So she watched my reaction video. So that's the only time I can possibly see someone watching a reaction video to a movie that they haven't seen before. It's because they don't care about the movie in the first place. They don't care to get spoiled for it. But in some cases, and I have had some people comment this, where they'll watch like the first 2 minutes of the reaction, they'll get very invested in whatever the movie is because they're learning about the movie for the first time. And then they'll go ahead and buy the movie, or they'll watch it on streaming. They will go out there and do it. I'm giving them free advertising, essentially. That is what reaction videos are. They're free advertising, and I just don't think studios fully understand that. So let me just go through the whole process of why these companies are even allowed to do this. Because you might be wondering, well, if it's under fair use, why are the companies blocking your videos? Why is that happening? Why is YouTube allowing this? Well, let me explain it. So what has been happening with these Five Nights at Freddy's reaction videos here is that they've been getting blocked, right? And they're getting manually blocked. There's different types of it. So there's automatic, which is essentially like this. YouTube has a system where they can detect if your video has content from an existing copyrighted thing, and then it will block it based on that. And that whole system is really dumb because, again, it'll sometimes do it even if you're using you could be using like 10 seconds of something and it can still block it. And that's just ridiculous. That's a whole nother conversation though, because that's not what's happening here. And automatic blocks are not that big of a deal for me personally. Sometimes they can be annoying, but most of the time they're not, because automatic blocks happen right away before you even publish the video and make it go live. It happens right when you upload it, which uploading is before the whole publishing phase where you let it go out to your audience. So if it happens before that, it's not a big deal, because okay, I could be like, I'm gonna go edit the video. I'll go re-edit, I'll fix the part they're telling me to fix, and maybe it'll go through next. And if it goes through, I know it's good to go. If it doesn't get blocked right away, then it did not get hit by that automatic block. Or it doesn't have to be a block, it could be a claim, which we'll talk about those in a little bit as well. But in general, it's not a big deal because I can just re-edit it. If it's a time-sensitive video, it can kind of be a little annoying because now I got to spend more time to try to get that out there. But for the most part, it's not a big deal. If that happened with Five Nights at Freddy's, I would have re-edited it and I would have had it out later on. It wouldn't have been that big of a deal, right? But what happens here with these manual reviews, which manual review means someone's actually doing it themselves. They are looking at it and pressing a button. It is not an automatic system doing it. And chances are it is someone, well, no, it definitely is someone from the company that is filing the claim. In this case, Universal. Universal is the one who's been filing the claims for the Five Nights at Freddy's reactions. And you know it's manual because, well, first of all, it tells you, but also because it happens later on after you've already made it go live. For my Five Nights at Freddy's reactions, they've never gotten hit automatically. Never. Because I think YouTube's system detects that it's not a problem because I'm not showing much of the movie there. I'm not showing much of it consecutively either. So they haven't detected any of those problems. But manually being reviewed by whoever's at Universal, they have been knocking the video, blocking it off the site after usually a couple hours after uploading the video. And it's kind of funny because whenever I upload the video like late at night, it actually won't get blocked until like the next day, because obviously they're not working in the middle of the night. So it only happens during the day, but it's usually like an hour or two after it. Chances are they're just going down the line of Five Nights at Freddy's reactions and just pressing buttons. But what confuses me is I go on YouTube and I see plenty of other reactors who have already uploaded their reactions and they've been up just fine, which I don't understand. Why is mine getting taken down, but no one else's is? Now, that's not exactly true because I did see a couple reactors who reached out to me and did say that their reactions were taken down as well a couple times, but they have been able to get those up and they're just fine. Maybe they edited the videos better than me. I don't know, but I'm looking at my newest edited version of this and holy shit, I had to cut it down so much. I'm pretty sure I edited it more than a lot of those other creators did. I watched some of the reactions as well, and I'm definitely think I edited even further than they did. Therefore, why is mine getting hit but theirs isn't? This is nothing against those creators, by the way. I have no beef with anybody just because their video's up. I'm just saying, why is Universal like not doing it for everyone and just certain people? That doesn't make any sense. And again, it's manual reviews, so they're literally looking at it. I'm not sure if they're watching the video. They might not be. They might literally just see on their screen, oh, this person used, I don't know, 10% of your content, and they're just clicking a button. Because that's all they have to do. All they have to do to block it is click a button, which we'll get into how ridiculous that is later. And like I said before, there's other types of claims that can also just claim your revenue, which isn't really a big deal because, like, yeah, I like making money off these videos, but I could deal with not making the money as long as the video stays up and is still doing well, then I'll be okay with that. But that's not what they're doing here. They're blocking the video, which means nobody can view it. Not a single person. It gets taken down. So that's really frustrating, obviously. If it got claimed, I'd probably just deal with it and just let them take the money for it. I don't really care. But they're literally blocking it. That's a big issue. Now, what can I do about that? So what the YouTuber is able to do after they block it is you can dispute it. You can dispute the claim and see what happens. And the respondent or claimant, whatever you call it, the company itself, they have 30 days to respond. 30. So they can literally wait out the entire 30 days and then do it last second, which is so fucking annoying, but they could do that. But they haven't been doing that, actually. What they've been doing is immediately rejecting it. Immediately, within like maybe 30 minutes. Not immediately. I guess 30 minutes is not technically immediately, but you know what I mean? They've been rejecting it really fast, which means, again, it's a manual rejection. They are doing it themselves. And guess what? That rejection, all it takes is another button click. That's it, just a button click. And what that means is I don't get the video back. If they were to release the claim after I dispute it, then the video would go live again and it would be just fine. It would be all good. It wouldn't be a problem. Which usually is what happens with the automatic claims, because the automatic ones, like I said, that's like a YouTube system thing doing it. And if the company sees it's a reaction video and it's clearly under fair use, they'll let the claim go. That usually happens all the time, especially for like Disney stuff. Disney's really chill. I've never had too many problems with Disney. It's happened with some like Star Wars episodes of shows and stuff where it'll automatically get claimed, but then they'll release it because they know it's a reaction video. They know what that is. They're not stupid. So they release it, right? But some companies, Universal is a good example, they don't know what fair use is apparently. I guess they don't know, or they just don't care and they just want to block people's videos because why not? I don't understand it, but that's what they've been doing. And so what can I do after that? So after they reject the dispute, I have another option I can do, and that is appealing it. Now, appealing it is a bit of a tricky thing, and a lot of creators don't even bother doing it because YouTube literally warns you about appealing a video. It's a pretty big deal. If you lose an appeal, if you lose the appeal, your video gets your channel gets a copyright strike. And if you get 3 copyright strikes within, I think, like 90 days or something, your channel gets terminated, taken down. So it's a very risky thing to do. So most creators don't do it. I, for one, take risks. I shouldn't, though. I really fucking shouldn't. But I take them. I take those risks. And many times, I have appealed videos. I probably appealed over 100 videos. And I've won 99.9% of them. Not even kidding. I always win them. Except for once. There was one time I lost. I think it was either Parasite or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It might have been one or... Was it both of them? I don't know. It was one of those two. It was like one of the only times I lost an appeal. And I don't know how I lost it. I don't really understand how I lost it. Doesn't really make any sense. But that's just letting you know, don't take my word for this, that like you're always going to win the appeals, because there are some times where you will lose. For Parasite, I think it was a bit iffy because it's a foreign film. And I think the laws in other countries could be a bit different. So maybe that's how that company was able to get away with it. I don't know. And for Texas Chainsaw, no, actually, Texas Chainsaw, I don't think I lost the appeal. I think they actually just striked my channel before they even got to the appeal, which makes no sense. But I did appeal the strike, which you can do that. And then I won that appeal of the strike, and then I lost the strike, so it wasn't there anymore. That was what happened there. That's what I remember happening. So then you might be wondering, well, if you always win the appeal, or like most of the time win the appeal, what's the problem? Just appeal the video and you're fine. They'll release it and you're good. Here's the problem. By the time the video gets released from the appeal, by the time it's back live, which is what I'm going to have to do with the 5 Nights at Freddy's thing. I think you guys are going to just wait for the reaction, basically. By the time that happens, it's already been like almost a week, usually. And that's how the appeals work. They give the company 7 days to respond. And if they don't respond by then the video gets released, right? So usually I have to wait those 7 days. Sometimes it's 10 days. It depends sometimes. And if the actual like claim disputing before that already took a few days, and that's another extra 7 to 10 days, it's on top of that. So it could be up to like 2 weeks by the time you're actually able to get the video out. And obviously that's a problem for so many reasons. First of all, if it's a time-sensitive video, like 5 Nights at Freddy's, because of course, people are talking about that a lot right now. Are they gonna be talking about that in 2 weeks? I don't know, probably not. So the video is automatically gonna do significantly less good in 2 weeks because it's time-sensitive content that I need to post soon. And another big thing, the video's already been uploaded. That's the biggest thing here. The video has already been uploaded, or not uploaded. It's already been public. It's already been there. This wouldn't be a huge problem, like I said before, if they blocked it before it went public. But the thing is with manual reviews is it's not what they're doing. They're doing it as it goes public. So I can't make the video go public again. When it gets released, I'm just gonna make it go public, and then now the video will appear on my channel again, but it's not gonna send notifications out. It's not gonna get pushed in the algorithms. It's not gonna get recommended as much. It might for some people, but not frequently. So chances are by the time that video gets put back out, it's gonna be dead in the water. That's a huge problem. I might as well not even release the video. Like, not many people are gonna come across it. The only people who are gonna come across it are the few people who get it recommended to them. Some people might, sure. And also if you just click on my channel and scroll down to find it, or if you search it up. So there's a couple different ways people could still find it. But chances are the video is not gonna suddenly get a bunch of views. Whereas when it builds up momentum when it's first uploaded, that's where you get most of your views from. You get most of your views in those first like 6 or 7 days. After that, it doesn't really matter anymore. And if you're wondering why you pretty much always win the appeals, and like I said, few exceptions, is simply because the companies just don't want to invest time and money into doing that, because you actually have to do a lot more for them to win an appeal. For the other ones, all they have to do is click a button. Remember, I said it was just a button click. That's all it is. When it comes to the actual claim itself, it's just a button click. When it comes to rejecting your dispute, it's just a button click. But for the appeal, they have to do a lot more. I'm not sure who they have to give this to. It might be courts or YouTube or something. I don't know. But they actually have to get evidence to prove that you are going against copyright laws and that your videos does not follow fair use. They have to prove that. And that's not easy to do because, like I just said, I'm following fair use. So how are they going to prove it? They can't fucking prove it. They can't. And they know that. They know they can't get away with that. So what do? They give up. They give up. It's going to go to you. But they know most people aren't going to do it anyways because they're scared to, because they might get their channel taken down if they risk doing it. Not that I think you should take the risks. I'm just saying the companies know that. And that's really shitty of them to take advantage of creators like that. I would consider it being taken advantage of. I would completely, because they are taking your work, because yes, it is your work. Fair use, the whole way the doctrine works is it is you're considered your work. Yes, you're using someone else's work, but it still is your work. If you just upload their stuff, that's different. This is a significant transformation of their content though. That is what reaction videos are and what they have been since whenever reaction videos started back in like, what, 2012? I don't know. Reaction videos, they haven't been around for that long, which is why a lot of companies are not so used to the idea of them, and they're just starting to kind of understand what they are. And some companies are with the times and they do understand what reaction videos are. Disney's a good example. Like I said, Disney's pretty great with that. They're very chill. Thank you, Disney. But then you got companies like Universal. They don't understand. They just don't get it. Or they do understand and they just don't give a shit. They just don't give a shit. They just want to take money away from people. They just want to make sure they can secure every little penny they possibly can, which also does not make any sense because reaction videos are not taking away money from these companies. I can guarantee that. And if anything, like I said before, we're probably giving them more money just by advertising their thing for free. For free, bro. So I know people always like to yell at YouTube because, you know, people think it's YouTube's fault, but honestly, YouTube has some blame here, but it really is the companies. It's the companies who just think they can take advantage of people and just do it. But of course, YouTube still has some blame because they're allowing this to happen. And I don't know if this needs to happen at like a legal level, like maybe the government needs to change something with these laws, maybe make them more specific, maybe add a little part in that says companies can't take advantage of it and, you know, fuck people over with it. But I really don't think YouTube should allow companies to block people with a press of a button. They should have to bring proof to YouTube first and foremost to be able to block their video. That should just be how it is. And I think it's ridiculous that that's not how it is. Maybe this is a good compromise I just thought of in my head. Maybe they can block it, but not necessarily block it. Like they give you a warning block sort of, where it's like, okay, we have claimed this content. Your content's still live. People are still able to view it. But we have now issued some sort of a notice that it's going to be taken down unless you dispute it. And during the whole disputation process and the appealing, the video stays up. That wouldn't bother me. If I can deal with this whole thing and make sure I can dispute it and appeal it, whatever, all while the video remains live, it really wouldn't be a big deal because that's all I want. I want you guys to be able to view my videos. I want you guys to be able to have it. And I want those videos to have the momentum that it has. And as long as the video stays up during that process, I'm not going to be too pissed because whatever, I know I'm going to win it in the end. Most likely, most likely, I know I'm probably going to win it in the end. So it wouldn't be a problem in the end. I would fix it all and it'd be fine. But the fact that it kills the video is frustrating because it already has. Regardless if I re-upload the video, a lot of you guys are really, really kind with viewing the video anyways. If you've already seen it, just getting more views. But there's no way the video is going to gain that momentum again that it had at first. And it was on track to probably get 20 to 30,000 views, which is pretty good for my channel. But I guarantee you by the time I get it back up, it's probably not even going to hit 10K. If it does, that'd be really cool and I really appreciate it. But I'm always going to be appreciative of my views that I get. It's just a matter of course, I'm going to be frustrated if a company can just kill my video like that. Another thing I want to mention before ending the video, I think a big reason why this is also consistently a problem is because reaction videos are such a wide range of things today. And there's a certain portion of the reaction content stuff that is very much looked down upon from the majority of the community. And that is like the reaction content involving like reacting to TikToks or reacting to like full YouTube videos. And I completely understand why those would not be considered fair use. I don't think those are fair use. And it's even worse because most of the time they're reacting to content made by like smaller creators. Like if you upload a video reacting to someone's YouTube video, the entirety of it, and you upload that full thing to YouTube, I can understand that being a problem because that is a substitute for the original video. It just is. If you upload the full video and I can hear that video just fine, sure, maybe the other YouTuber who's reacting to it, maybe they give some commentary to it, but if they're not significantly transforming the work, yes, of course, I would consider that not being fair use. And that's what a lot of people have a problem with today, and they're pretty clear on that. But the problem is that they kind of warp the whole idea of reaction content into one category and just talk about reaction content itself, forgetting about the movie reactions and TV show reactions that are very separate, in my opinion. I would call them a complete separate thing because these are not substitutes for the original content. They're just not, and it's a shame that they get warped in. And there's a lot more effort put into these types of videos. I think people don't really realize the amount of editing that goes into these reactions. It's not something, I don't just sit here, watch a movie, and then upload the video, and that's it. I have to edit it. And obviously, if I want to avoid copyright, then I have to edit it pretty significantly. That's usually what I do. And that's why I talk a lot during my reactions. I think a lot of people get mad sometimes when I talk on my reactions. They're like, oh, stop talking over the show. This is why I talk a lot, because if I don't, then it's not going to be fair use. I need to make sure, actually, it probably still would be fair use, to be honest, because it's still not showing a significant amount of the show. But I need to make sure I'm really providing as much transformability. I don't know what the word would be, but I need to make sure I'm transforming the content, right? That's why I do that. So thank you all for watching. I just need to rant here, but please, if you are a bigger creator, just please speak up about this against YouTube and just in general. I don't think it's something we can do. I honestly think this is going a governmental level thing that would have to be like a politician that would change it. But are they going to do that? No, because they're not. They don't give a fuck about this stuff. They're dealing with bigger issues. They're not going to care about this, but still, it is a pretty significant thing. And I wish there would be some emphasis on it, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. If I keep dealing with problems like this, it demotivates me from wanting to do videos like this. There's so many other videos I could be doing that wouldn't have these problems. And I would like to do those, honestly. I love doing reaction videos. I do, but it kills me every time they get hit with these claims. And then it destroys the video. And I'm just like, well, what was even the point, you know? I'm glad those of you who watched it were able to view it, but it just sucks when it gets taken down like that. So I'm going to keep trying to re-upload it. I will. And if that doesn't work, I'll just wait for the appeal to go through. Because like I said, they're going to get appealed. It's going to get appealed. And I'm going to be able to re-upload one of them. I am being careful, though. Don't worry. I'm being very careful. I only did one video. I only appealed one video. So if I do lose it, which like I said is very rare, if I do lose it, then it'll just be one strike and it won't be the big deal, because it's not 3 strikes. So my channel's not going to get taken down. I'm not appealing all of the videos, because then obviously that would risk me quite a bit. I only ever appeal one at a time just to be safe. So yeah, hopefully you guys all enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And like I said, just please try to speak up about this. I don't know. It's frustrating. It is, because I love doing this stuff, and I don't know what else to do, to be honest. Like I just don't know how else to fix this problem. It is a major one. So I will see you all later. Peace.